The sun's barely up, mist clings to the valley. A trophy buck freezes at 400 yards, and your crosshairs wobble as your breath steams the scope. One shot, one chance. Will your rifle thread the needle or send that prize bolting into legend? Welcome to the 7 most accurate hunting rifles ever made. A dead-eye, no-compromise showdown of the rifles that turn hunters into snipers and game into history. We've got the cold-proof ballistics groups, the kill shots that these 7 are the kings of precision. Millions of rifles fire every season. These are the bullseye beasts that never blink. Want to know which guns don't flinch? Ready to aim for the top shelf? Steady your grip, this'll punch like a perfect shot, and one's a legend you've underestimated. 1. Winchester Model 70, the timeless Titan. A rifle that's been around forever, still the king of tight groups. The Winchester Model 70 locks in a .306 Springfield with a 150-grain bullet zipping at 2,900 feet per second from a 24-inch barrel. Hundreds of thousands shoulder it, bolt actions, 8 pounds, and it's a deer and elk legend that nails the mark. That 150-grain slug, 2,800 foot-pounds at the muzzle, 2,400 at 200, 2,000 at 300. Drops 14 inches at 300, wind drifts 7 inches in a 10-mile-per-hour gust, dead on steady. Hunters drop elk at 490%, kills deer fall at 350 with half-inch groups. Recoils firm 16 foot-pounds, but the accuracy's a laser. This Titan's one still doubting its dot? 2. Remington 700, the sniper's standard. A rifle that's everywhere, too common to be elite. The Remington 700 strides up a 6.5 Creedmoor with a 140-grain bullet humming at 2,750 feet per second from a 24-inch barrel. Hundreds of thousands wield it, bolt actions, 8 pounds, and it's a moose and deer benchmark that threads needles. That 140-grain slug slams 2,400 foot-pounds at the muzzle, 2,100 at 200, 1,800 at 300. Drops 13 inches at 300, wind drifts 5 inches and a breeze razor flat. Hunters nail moose at 450, 89%, kills deer drop at 400 with quarter-inch groups. Recoils tame 12 foot-pounds, but the aim's a blade. This standard's too still underestimating its edge. 3. Savage 110 Precision, the modern marvel. A new school gun that's too quiet, overlooked champ. The Savage 110 Precision steps in a .308 wind with a 150-grain bullet clocking 2,800 feet per second from a 20-inch barrel. Hundreds of thousands pack it, bolt actions, 10 pounds, and it's a bear and hog marvel that pins tails. That 150-grain slug pounds 2,700 foot-pounds at the muzzle, 2,300 at 200, 19 at 300. Drops 14 inches at 300, wind drifts 7 inches in a gust, rock solid. Hunters stop bears at 350, 91%, kills hogs fall at 300 with sub-half-inch groups. Recoils mild, 14 foot-pounds, but the chassis cuts chaos. This marvel's 3 still blind to its bite. 4. Tikka T3x CTR, the Finnish fiend. A sleek import that's too smooth, too good for the hype. The Tikka T3x CTR glides up a .260 rem with a 140-grain bullet zipping at 2,750 feet per second from a 20-inch barrel. Hundreds of thousands carry it, bolt actions, 7.5 pounds, and it's a deer and elk fiend that nails the X. That 140-grain slug strikes 2,400 foot-pounds at the muzzle, 2,100 at 200, 1,800 at 300. Drops 13 inches at 300, wind drifts 5 inches and a breeze, pinpoint pure. Hunters bag elk at 488%, kills deer drop at 350 with quarter-inch groups. Recoils soft, 12 foot-pounds, but the action's silk. This fiend's 4 still missing its mark. 5. Weatherby Mark V, the Magnum Master. A big bore that's too bold, too loud to be precise. The Weatherby Mark V thunders in a .30 and Weatherby mag with a 180-grain bullet roaring at 3,250 feet per second from a 26-inch barrel. Tens of thousands shoulder it, bolt actions, 8.5 pounds, and it's a moose and bear master that drills dots. That 180-grain slug crushes 3,600 foot-pounds at the muzzle, 3,200 at 200, 2,800 at 300. Drops 15 inches at 300, wind drifts 8 inches in a gust, long-range lethal. Hunters flatten moose at 592%, kills bear fall at 450 with half-inch groups. Recoil stout 22 foot-pounds, but the barrel bites. This Masters 5 still scared of its kick. 6. Browning X-Bolt Pro, the elegant executioner. A fancy gun that's too pretty, too soft for the field. The Browning X-Bolt Pro strides up a 7mm rem mag with a 160-grain bullet screaming at 3,000 feet per second from a 26-inch barrel. Hundreds of thousands wielded bolt actions, 7 pounds, and it's a deer and elk executioner that pins hearts. That 160-grain slug slams 3,000 foot-pounds at the muzzle, 2,600 at 200, 2,200 at 300. Drops 14 inches at 300, wind drifts 7 inches in a breeze, dead eye smooth. Hunters nail elk at 450, 90%, kills deer drop at 400 with sub-MOA groups. Recoils firm 18 foot-pounds, but the finish shines. This executioner's 6, still judging its looks. 7. Sako 85 Finnlight, the lightweight laser. A feather that hits like a freight train, too niche to rule. The Sako 85 Finnlight glides in a .270 wind with a 130-grain bullet zipping at 3,000 feet per second from a 20-inch barrel. Hundreds of thousands carry it, bolt actions, 6.2 pounds, and it's a mountain laser that tags trophies. That 130-grain slug strikes 2,600 foot-pounds at the muzzle, 2,300 at 200, 19 at 300. Drops 12 inches at 300, wind drifts 6 inches in a breeze, flat as a falcon's flight. Hunters bag elk at 489%, kills deer drop at 350 with quarter-inch groups. Recoils mild 15 foot-pounds, but the weight's a whisper. This laser's 7, still overlooking the light. Let's crack that craft, it's a Highland Hawk. The Finnlight's .23 sectional density slices clean 16 inches in gel with a soft point, while its Sako precision and fluted barrel defy range. Over dozens of peaks, it's a stalker, elk ribs cracked at 350, deer lungs pierced at 3, bulky rifles huff behind. Owners log thousands of rounds, same zip every pull while heavyweights lag. This Sako's a lightweight legend, still hauling the heft. The scope's clear, the kill's yours, time to claim the crown. You've stood in the mist, felt the pulse of perfect shots, and seen the barrels that turn wild guesses into dead center glory. These rifles don't just hunt, they rewrite the game, threading needles through wind and distance while the pack chases noise. Millions stalk the earth every season, why settle for scatter when precision's in your hands? Shoulder one of these legends, sight the prize, and let the wild bow to your aim. This is the 7 most accurate hunting rifles ever made. Pull the trigger, drop the myth, and rule the hunt.